So guys, I hope I'm live. I hope all of you can see me. Just write yes on the chat if you guys can see me. Just a second. I cannot see myself. Yes, I think I am live. Yes, very much. Great. So guys, as you would have read the title of, just a second. Yeah, as you would have read the title of today's session, solving kinematics question by the biscuit method. Now I'm sure that most of you like biscuits, right? There are very good, like lot of good biscuits in the market. And how cool would it be? How cool would it be if you can, solve the questions? Hi Sai, hello. So Sai, do you want to solve the questions by eating biscuits? So how cool would it be if you can solve the questions by biscuits? So you can see over here, this girl is eating a lot of biscuits over here. So jokes aside guys, this method is amazing, and trust me when I will tell you about this method, you can solve a lot of questions. Hello Sai, you can solve lots of questions which you would have solved using equations of motion, like v is equals to u plus at, s equals to ut plus half at square, So the questions that you would have solved using these equations, those questions you can solve very easily within 20 seconds. Okay. Hi Nasir. So Nasir, right now we are discussing a very novel technique, very amazing technique of biscuit method to solve the questions of kinematics. Okay, so yes Sai, I will tell all the logic, don't worry. So let's start. Okay, let us start the session, and I am sure that you are going to love it. There are 3 golden rules. Okay, there are 3 golden rules you can see over here. Okay, so 3 golden rules. So let's discuss each rule one by one, and then so keep these rules in mind, and then we will apply these rules to solve the question within 20 seconds without any calculation, without any equation. Okay, so let's discuss each rule one by one. Okay, average velocity is fundamentally defined as displacement divided by time. Hence displacement can be written as average velocity into time. Now all of you already know that what is the definition of average velocity? Displacement upon time. This is a fact which everybody knows, all of you knows. Hence displacement can always be, S is displacement here, displacement can always be written as average velocity into time. This is always correct, never ever wrong. Hi Shri Ram. Okay, so guys, I hope you understand the first rule. Okay, so 3 rules I am telling you. The first golden rule is this. So each rule is gold dust, you can see over here. So I have drawn the picture of gold as well. So trust me, each rule is gold dust over here. So first rule says that displacement is average velocity into time, and this rule is valid always because average velocity ka fundamental definition is displacement upon time. Okay, now what is the second rule? Second rule says that average velocity can be written as arithmetic mean of initial plus final if the acceleration is constant. So what is arithmetic mean? Initial plus final by 2. Okay, so average velocity ko you can always write, average velocity ko you can write initial plus final upon 2, but only if acceleration is constant. Okay, so average velocity ko you can also write half of initial plus final if the acceleration is constant. So this is rule number 2. Hi Priya Babu, hello. So I hope you have understood this rule as well. So we have talked about 2 rules. First rule is, what is the first rule? First rule says that displacement can always be written as average velocity into time. Second rule says that average velocity ko you can write initial plus final by 2 if acceleration is constant. Okay, now the third rule is actually what is biscuit method. Okay, so let's see what is third rule. Now you might feel, hey, third rule is so easy, it is obvious for me, why are you telling this third rule? Don't tell me third rule. But no, third rule is the most critical rule, and it is going to take a lot of application. So what is acceleration? Acceleration is the rate at which velocity changes. Now all of you know what acceleration is. Acceleration is rate at which velocity changes with respect to time. If I ask you what is acceleration, all of you will say is a rate of change of velocity with respect to time. All of you know this, right? All of you know this. Okay, but guys, this is the magical rule. This and This rule combined with the first two rules will make question a cakewalk. Trust me, these three rules together will make questions a cakewalk. Okay, so I have also taken a lot of questions that we will see how we can solve using these three rules, okay, so as to understand the application part. But just focus on the third rule first. Let's try to understand the third rule. Okay, let's try to understand the third rule. You can see this cute little guy eating lots of biscuits. Okay, now guys, focus here. Rate at which boy is eating biscuits can be thought of as at the rate at which speed is changing. So what is this? So I am discussing the third rule. Now try to understand. This is very, very important. Rate at which boy is eating biscuits. Okay, suppose boy is eating biscuits at the rate of 5 biscuits per second. So this can be thought of at the rate at which the speed is increasing. Let's try to understand, please. This is very, very important. So you can see, suppose you want to eat 30 biscuits and you can eat 10 biscuits per second. Okay, suppose you want to eat 30 biscuits. So how many biscuits you want to eat? 30. Okay, so I have written B is equals to 30, right? And you can eat, so what is the rate of eating biscuits? So 10 biscuits per second. Now if I ask you, in how much time will you be able to eat 30 biscuits? So very, very easy. You can say that total time will be 30 by 10, which will be 3 seconds. Very obvious, right? So what I'm saying, suppose you want to eat 30 biscuits and you can eat 10 biscuits per second. So what is the rate at which, so what is the time in which you will be able to eat all the biscuits? So time will be 3 seconds, 30 by 10, right? All of you are cool with it. Okay. Now can you, so relate this with acceleration and velocity. Suppose you start from zero. Suppose you start from zero velocity and you want to achieve the velocity of 30. Suppose you want to achieve the velocity of 30 and acceleration is 10 meter per second square. Acceleration is 10 meter per second square. So in how much time velocity will become 30? In how much time velocity will become 30? Simple, 30 by 10, that is 3. So try to understand what I am saying. What was this rate? Rate was like this rate represented how many biscuits you are eating per second, and you wanted to eat 30 biscuits. So in how much time you could eat 30 biscuits? 30 by 10. So that means 3 seconds. Similarly, suppose you want to acquire this much velocity, 30, you want to acquire this much velocity starting from rest. Starting from rest, you want to acquire this much velocity and acceleration is 10. Acceleration is 10. So what is acceleration? Acceleration is the rate at which velocity is increasing. So are these two things exactly identical? Yes, because this was the rate at which you were eating biscuits. This is the rate at which velocity is increasing starting from 0. So in how much time velocity will become 30? 30 by 10. So we can simply say that velocity will become 30 after 3 seconds. So what I did, I simply divided 30 by 10. I hope you have understood. So could you connect, could you see the parallels between these two cases? Just write yes on the chat if you could see the parallels between these two cases. Okay, let us see one more example, guys. Suppose you have already eaten 30 biscuits. That means you have already eaten 30 biscuits. That means B1 is equals to 30. These many biscuits already is inside your stomach. You are you are a very hungry person, like you can eat like any amount of biscuits. You are like your appetite is a lot, so you have already eaten 30 biscuits. Now you want to eat a total of 70 biscuits. That means 40 extra biscuits. That means you want 70 biscuits. Right now you have 30 biscuits inside your stomach, but how many biscuits you want inside your stomach? 70. That means how much biscuits you want to eat extra? How much biscuits you want to eat extra? That means you want to eat 40 biscuits. You want to eat 40 biscuits. Okay, and what is the rate at which you are eating the biscuits? So 10 biscuits per second. So rate of eating the biscuits is 10 per second. Okay, rate of eating the biscuits is 10 per second. So to eat 40 biscuits, how much time is required? 4 seconds. Very obvious, right? You already had 30 biscuits in your stomach. Now you wanted to eat 70 biscuits total. That means you had to eat 40 extra biscuits. So we can say that, and you are eating 10 biscuits per second. So in how much time your stomach will have 70 biscuits? So simply you can say 40 by 10. Sorry, 40 by 10. So 4 seconds. Now relate this with velocity. Okay, suppose somebody was moving with initial velocity of 30. Suppose somebody was moving with initial velocity of 30. Okay, now it is now you want the final velocity to become 70. You want final velocity to become 70. Okay, and let us say acceleration is 10. Let us say acceleration is 10. Okay, so in how much time acceleration, we can say velocity would have become 70. So we can simply say in 4 seconds, because 70 minus 30. So basically you can say that plus 40. So velocity should increase by 40, and the rate of increment of velocity is 10, because rate of increment of velocity is acceleration. So we can say that in 4 seconds the velocity. Rishit, I will talk about rain umbrella problem, don't worry, in one more session. So I will tell you the all the details about that, don't worry at all. Okay, I will talk about rain umbrella problems. Okay, so we can tell you over here that so can you see the parallels? These were the initial number of biscuits in your stomach. This was the initial velocity. This was the biscuits required in your stomach. This is the final velocity. Okay, final biscuits, final velocity. So how many? So 40 is the increment in the biscuits, 40 is the increment in velocity. Rate of increase of biscuits is 10. Rate of increase of velocity is also 10, which is acceleration. So time is 4. So how did you get this? Simply 70 minus 30 by 10. Simply 70 minus 30 by 10. So guys, I hope you have, hi Deepak, I hope you have understood this simple example. Amazing technique, guys. I hope, hi Mallipudi. So basically, I hope you have understood till here. These are very nice 3 rules. Please remember these 3 rules. Okay, now let's see another case. Okay, so you can see now, suppose you have rate at which boy is vomiting biscuits can be thought of as the rate at which speed is decreasing. Okay, what does this mean? Try to understand. Suppose you have eaten a lot of biscuits. Okay, now what will happen? Of course, you will feel indigestion. Okay, now biscuits will start coming out. You will start vomiting. Okay, so now let's try to understand how this can help us in velocity problems. Okay, so try to understand rate at which boy is vomiting biscuits can be thought of as the rate at which speed is decreasing. Okay, so try to understand. Suppose you have eaten 70 biscuits. That means how much biscuits right now you have in your stomach? So you have 70 biscuits in your stomach. Okay, you have 70 biscuits in your stomach. Now you start vomiting at the rate of 7. So you can see this kid vomiting. So you start vomiting at the rate of 7 biscuits per second. That means this is the rate at which you are vomiting. This is the rate at which you are vomiting. So let me write this as minus 7, because this is the rate at which you are vomiting the biscuit out. So you can say that biscuit is decreasing at this rate inside your stomach, right? So now in how much time? Only 21 biscuits will be left inside your stomach. Okay, so that means let's say we want how much biscuits left? 21. So very simple, 70 was the starting value of biscuits, 21 is left. How much biscuits have decreased? 49. What is the rate at which biscuit has been losing? 7. What is the rate at which you are vomiting biscuits? 7. So in how much time, guys? In how much time? We can simply say that you have lost 49 biscuits. So we can say that how much time? 7 seconds. Yes or no? Very simple. Can we relate this with velocity? Obviously. Suppose initial velocity was 70. Okay, you want final velocity to be 21. Initial velocity was 70, you want final velocity to be 21. Okay, so suppose your acceleration or retardation is 7. That means acceleration is minus 7. What does this mean? That velocity is decreasing per second at the rate of 7. Velocity is decreasing per second at the rate of 7. So starting from 70, how much time it will take to reach 21? Very simple. What did you do over here? So you had to decrease the biscuits by 49 and you were vomiting 7. So that means 49 by 7. Similarly, you had to decrease the velocity by 49 and how much you are decreasing per second? 7. That means time will again be 7. So can you see the relation between these two things? Rate at which you are vomiting biscuits can be thought of as acceleration. Initial value of biscuits can be thought of as initial velocity. Final value of biscuits can be thought of as final velocity. I hope you have understood the connection. In how much time stomach will be empty? So stomach empty means final biscuits have become 0. So let us say B3. So let me say let me change the color of the, let me take green color. So B3. So B3 has become 0. That means because the stomach has become empty. So how many biscuits you have lost? So of course you have vomited all 70 biscuits. And you are vomiting at the rate of 7. So in how much time, guys? In how much time? 10 seconds. 70 by 7, 10 seconds. Yes. So basically, I hope you have understood. So over here again, if you want final velocity to be 0, so we can say that in 10 seconds velocity will become 0. I hope this you have understood. Okay. So this is the idea. Okay, this is the idea. Very cool idea. I hope you have related. I hope you could relate the connection between the biscuit method and the velocity problems. Now let us try to apply Now let's do some question, guys. Let's see how much you have understood. So try to again recollect those 3 golden rules which I have told you. First rule says that displacement can always be written as average velocity into time. Always true. Average velocity ko you can write initial plus final by 2, but only if acceleration is constant, and acceleration was the rate. So this was the third rule, was Biscuit method, what I had explained in detail. Now let's try to apply these rules in some questions, and we will see how fast we can do these questions. Okay, let's see how fast we can do these questions. Okay, so let's see. A ball is thrown at the rate of 50 meter per second. Find the time of ascent and maximum height up till which the ball will go. So basically what is happening, you are throwing a ball from the bottom, okay, at the rate of 50 meter per second. Okay, this is the rate at which you are throwing the ball, and you have to find the time of ascent and how high the ball will go. Now try to think, ball will go and stop, and it will come down. So what will be the velocity at this point? 0, because it is the topmost point. So velocity here is 0. And what was the initial velocity? 50, right? Now think from here till here. Acceleration is constant. Yes, gravity of Earth is always constant. So we can say that from here to here, gravity is constant. So can we say that how much time? So initial biscuits is 50, final biscuits is 0. And what is the value of gravity? 10. That means speed is decreasing at the rate of 10. So in how much time? In how much time? 5 seconds, guys. 50 will become 0 in how much time? 5 seconds. Every second Earth is taking 10 velocity from this. So 50 will become 40, 40 will become 30, 30 will become 20, like that. So can you see how cool, how fast we have found out the time of ascent? Basically we have simply thought. We have not written any equation. We have simply thought out. I have not written anything. We just thought. We could just think that 50 will become 0 in 5 seconds, because every second gravity was decreasing the value by 10. So 50 would have become 40, 40 would have become 30, like that. Okay, and what is the height? Can we also find this height? Yes, try to think the first 2 rules. Okay, try to think the first 2 rules. The average of these 2 velocities is 25. The average of these 2 velocities is 50 plus 0 by 2. So we can say that V average is what? 50 plus 0 by 2. Yes, and this can be written as displacement upon time. So what is the displacement? H upon time. Time is 5. So we can say that H will be 125. So 5 comma 125, option C will be the correct answer for this question. Could you see, guys? No equation, nothing, simple logic, and Biscuit method has solved this question without anything. You should just know plus, minus, divide, multiply, that's it. No logic, no V is equals to U plus AT, no S equals to UT plus half AT square, no V square is equals to U square plus twice S. Just simple, pure logic. Question is solved. Let's see the second question. Okay, a car moving at 35 meter per second on a flat road applies a brake and comes to stop. That means we can say that initial velocity was 35. Okay, and stops means final velocity is 0 in 5 seconds. Time is 5 seconds. Okay, time is 5 seconds. How much distance did the car travel in 5 seconds? How much distance did the car? Yes, Malipudi, your answer is absolutely correct. Good job. How much distance will the car travel in 5 seconds? Now think, you have to make velocity, suppose you have 35 biscuits in your stomach. Now you want to empty your stomach in 5 seconds. So at what rate you should vomit? 7 biscuits per second. Yes, 35 biscuits and you want to empty your stomach in 5 seconds. So at what rate you should vomit? 7 biscuits per second. Simple. So again, simply 35 should become 0 in 5 seconds. So what should be the retardation? 7 meter per second square. So we can say that acceleration will be minus 7 meter per second square, or we can say simply retardation is 7 meter per second square. Now how much distance did the car travel in 5 seconds? Very simple. In fact, we don't even want this acceleration. I have just told you by that. We don't even need to calculate this. I can simply say that distance will be simply average velocity. Average velocity is 35 plus 0 by 2. V average, okay, into time. V average into time. Okay, so what is V average? 35 plus 0 by 2. Okay, 35 plus 0 by 2 into time. Time is 5. So you can say that 17.5 into 5, which is 87.5. I hope you have understood, right? So you can see I am not using any equation, guys. I am just simply using pure simple logic, and answers are coming like anything. Like they are coming super fast. We do not want, like we do not wanted to, like we do not need this minus 7. I just found it just so that you can understand that if you want to find the value of retardation, then also you can find that by this method very fast. Okay, so I hope you have understood this. Let's see next question, guys. Let's see. Isn't it cool method? Isn't it very, very cool? So let's see the next method. A ball is dropped. A ball is dropped from top of a building. The ball takes 0.5 seconds to fall past the 3-meter length of a window at a certain distance from the top of a building. So this is a nice question. See, so these type of questions you might not be able to solve, or you might feel problematic, like you might face a lot of problems in these kind of questions. Okay, these are good questions. Now let's see how we will solve this very fast. So there is one window. Let's say this window is over here. Okay, let's say that this window is over here. Okay, so the length of this window has been given to be 3 meters. Length of this window we can say, so let's say this is h. Okay, so let me draw this window over here. So this is the window, and this height is given to be 3 meters. That means this value is given to be 3 meters. This is the window. Okay, so it takes 0.5 seconds. It takes 0.5 seconds to cross this window. Hi Harika. So that means in 0.5 seconds, how much velocity will change? So gravity will increase the velocity by 5, because gravity increases velocity per second by 10. So in 0.5 seconds, how much gravity will increase velocity? 5. Very simple. So if I say velocity is v over here, so velocity here will be v plus 5, isn't it? Because how? Because velocity would have increased by 5 in 0.5 seconds. Okay, now what you can say, we have to find the speed of the ball as it crosses the top edge. That means we have to find the value of v. We have to find the value of v, because we have to find the value of the velocity when it crosses the top end. So very simple, you can say that displacement is equals to average velocity into time. So displacement was 3 from here till here. From here till here, displacement was 3. That will be equals to average velocity. So average velocity from here till here is v plus 5 by 2. Okay, so this is the average velocity between these two times, and multiplied by time. Multiplied by time. Time was 0.5 seconds. So you can see that how fast, how cool this method is. So this becomes 3 2 ja 6 2 ja 12. 12 minus 5 is 7 by 2v. So 3.5. Option B is coming out to be correct answer. Okay. So hi Bhavi official. I hope you have understood this amazing technique. I hope you have understood this amazing method, guys. Okay. It's a very cool method. You can solve the questions without using equations of motion. Simple, pure logic. Yes, Malipudi, your answer is correct. Let us see this one more question. So a car starts with an initial velocity of 10 meter per second and accelerates at the rate of 2 meter per second. So what do you understand that initial velocity was 10 and acceleration was 2. Find the distance traveled by the car between t equals to 5 and t equals to 7. Now if you try to do this question using the Harika, please watch this session again. We have done 3 questions, I guess, and this is the 4th question in my opinion. But you have to see the method first, and then only you will be able to understand. I have told some very novel method today. So if you try to do these questions using the equations, using the formula, then you will again take a lot of time and you will make the question cumbersome. Let's try to do this question simple by pure simple logic. Okay, so suppose your stomach had initially 10 biscuits. Now you are eating how many biscuits per second? So 2 biscuits per second. So after 5 seconds, how many biscuits your stomach will have? 20, because you would have eaten 10 more biscuits. So we can say that velocity at t is equals to 5 would have become 20. Velocity at t equals to 5 would have become simply 20, because initial velocity was 10 and you have increased the velocity by 10. So velocity would have become 20. Okay. What is the velocity at t equals to 7? So again, in 2 more seconds you would have eaten 4 more biscuits. Okay, because you are eating the biscuits at the rate of 2 per second. Acceleration is what? The rate at which you are eating biscuits. So that means you can say that in next 2 seconds you will eat 4 more biscuits. So velocity at t is equals to 7 seconds would become 24. So between these two, between t is equals to 5 and t is equals to 7, what is the average velocity? So average of these two values is 22. So we can say that V average comes out to be 22. Okay, and V average can be written as total distance upon time. Very, very simple. Distance, what? So distance upon time. Time was 2 seconds. So 44 meters. Can you see how fast? No formula, nothing. We can simply say that answer is 44, because we have to find the distance. 22 is the average velocity. Distance will be simply average velocity into time. Time is 2 seconds. So we can say that answer will be 44. I hope guys you have understood. So I think this is a very, very cool method. Let's see one more question. A ball is dropped from top of a building and A ball is dropped. Harika, you'll have to see the method first, then only you will be able to understand. A ball is dropped from the top of a building and it reaches the top of a window fixed in the tower after 2 seconds from dropping. That means you drop a ball from here. So if you drop something, what is the initial velocity? 0. After 2 seconds, the ball reaches the top of the window. So suppose the window is like this. Suppose a window is like this. So after 2 seconds, can we say that velocity here would have become 20? Do you see that I'm not even using any equation? I'm just writing the values because we don't need any equation. We can just simply think. So how fast this has become? Here the velocity is 0. Here the velocity has become 20 because in 2 seconds, gravity would have increased the velocity by 20. Okay. So velocity here would have become 20. Okay. It crosses the window with a speed difference of 2 meters per second. That means if the speed here was 20, then what is the value of the speed here? 22. Because in the question, it has been given that difference in the velocities at the top end and the bottom end is 2. So if the velocity at top end is 20, so velocity at the bottom end will be 22, right? Find the length of the window. Very, very easy. Okay. Now just tell me, in how much time velocity would have become 22 from 20? 0.2 seconds. Why? Because velocity is increasing at the rate of 10. So to increase by 2, how much time is required? 0.2 seconds. So can we say that time will be 0.2 seconds? Again, you have to think like in terms of biscuits. Initially biscuits are 20 and final biscuits are 22. So, and you are eating at the rate of 10 per second. So in how much time will you be able to eat these biscuits? 0.2 seconds. Yes. So 0.2 seconds mein you will be able to eat the 2 biscuits. So that means time is 0.2 seconds. Okay. And we have to find what? We have to find the find the length of the window. So we have to find this length. So very simple. Again, you can say that this displacement which you can call as S can be written as average velocity. So average of these two is 21 multiplied by time. So time is 0.2. This will become 4.2 meters. So option A will be the correct answer for this question. Okay. So Harika, this is kinematics equation of, we are talking about a method called as Biscuit method. So this method is not taught in normal classes. I have developed this method so that you can solve questions without using equations of motion, just by pure simple logic. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed this. Let's see one more question. A boy starts from rest and runs at a constant acceleration. Okay. So boy is running at a constant acceleration. His average velocity after 10 seconds is 5 meters per second. So boy starts from rest. What does this mean? That initial velocity was 0. Because if something starts from rest, then initial velocity has to be 0. Now average velocity after 10 seconds is 5. So we can say that, let's say at how do you write V average? So V average is U plus V by 2. Okay. So this was given as 5. So can we say that U was 0? So put this value over here. So what will you get? You will get that velocity has become 10 meters per second after 10 seconds. Velocity has become 10 meters per second after 10 seconds. So that means you have eaten 10 biscuits in 10 seconds. So what is the rate at which you were eating biscuits? 1 per second. That means acceleration is 1 meter per second square. So I guess you can see, guys, it's a very, very novel and powerful technique which just requires thinking, no equation, no formula, nothing, just pure simple visualization. I hope you have understood. Okay. Let us see this question. Okay, a ball is dropped from top of a tower and hits the ground at 60 meters per second. So basically this is the tower. Okay. Hi Jayprita Ravi. So a ball is dropped, that means initial velocity was 0. And here the velocity is 60. The question says that it hits the ground at 60. So can you say time of descent? 6 seconds. Do you even see that I just took a fraction of second to calculate 6? Why? Because in gravity is increasing the velocity at the rate of 10. So in 1 second velocity would have become 10, in 2 seconds velocity would have become 20, in 3 seconds velocity would have become 30. So to become 60, it would have taken 6 seconds. So t is simply 6 seconds, right? In 6 seconds the velocity would have become 60. Okay. Find the height of the tower. Very simple. So we have to find this height. Okay. So this height is nothing but the displacement of the ball from here to here. This height is nothing but the displacement of the ball from top to bottom. So this h can be written as displacement ko you can always write average velocity into time. Average velocity will be 0 plus 60 by 2. 0 plus 60 by 2, okay, into time. Time is what? 6 seconds. So this becomes 30 into 6, which is 180. So option D will be the correct answer for this question. I hope guys you have understood. I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope you have really appreciated this. So guys, that's all for today. I hope you would have definitely appreciated this. So please practice on this method, and remember those 3 golden rules which I had told to you. Okay, and that's all for today. Thank you so much. Bye bye. See you. Bye bye. Bye bye Jaiprita. Bye bye.